Some people walk alone even when the sidewalk is full. Not rushed, not lost, just separate. You notice them because they move differently. Their pace doesn't borrow energy from anyone else. Their eyes aren't scanning for company. And for reasons most people can't explain, that quiet independence unsettles the room. We're taught early that walking alone means something is missing. A friend, a partner, a reason. But what if sometimes it means the opposite? Psychology has struggled with this image for a long time. The solitary walker gets labeled quickly, closed off, detached, emotionally distant. Labels appear fastest when something doesn't fit the usual story. Here's the tension no one says out loud. Walking alone looks like rejection from the outside, but from the inside, it can feel like alignment. There's a quiet difference between being alone and choosing your own rhythm. People who walk alone often describe something subtle. Their thoughts feel clearer in motion. Their emotions settle when their body moves forward without interruption. Conversation pulls them outward. Walking pulls them inward. This isn't avoidance. It's regulation. The brain loves patterns. And for certain minds, solitary movement becomes a stabilizer. Footsteps replace noise. Breath replaces commentary. The world becomes manageable when reduced to one direction and one decision at a time. Society reads the image, not the experience. A lone walker gets questioned silently. Why aren't they waiting for someone? Why don't they need company? That misunderstanding is where the real story begins. Because once you understand why some people walk alone, you start seeing it everywhere, not as isolation, but as psychological self-trust. When someone walks alone, the brain shifts into a different mode. Not alert like a crowd, not reactive like a conversation, but gently inward. Psychology calls this a self-referential state. Attention stops bouncing outward and loops softly back to the self. Thoughts slow down. Emotions organize themselves without being interrupted. This is why solitary walking feels grounding. The body moves forward. The mind follows. For some people, this state is rare anywhere else. They don't reach it in silence. They don't reach it sitting still. They reach it only when moving alone through space. There's another layer most people miss. Walking alone gives control without isolation. You're still part of the world. You hear traffic. You pass faces. Life moves around you, but none of it demands anything. That balance matters. Too much solitude becomes disconnection. Too much social input becomes noise. Walking alone sits perfectly in between. This is why solitary walkers often appear emotionally steady. They've built a private space where feelings can surface safely. No audience, no performance, no explanation required. From the outside, it can look distant. Inside, something quiet is happening. Reflection, integration, recalibration. Many people never develop this skill. They rely on others to regulate their emotions, distraction instead of digestion. But solitary walkers learn something early. If you can move through space alone, you can move through thoughts alone too. And that changes how you relate to people. You don't cling. You don't rush. You don't fear silence. Because you already know how to be with yourself, while the world keeps moving. But psychology always asks one honest question. Is this freedom? Or is it protection? Walking alone becomes unhealthy only when it turns into hiding. When movement isn't chosen, but used to escape. Psychology doesn't judge the behavior. It looks at the motive underneath it. Ask yourself this. After walking alone, do you feel more yourself? Or just relieved you weren't seen? Healthy solitary walkers don't disappear from connection. They return to it. Calmer, more present, less reactive. They walk to reset, not to vanish. They enjoy company without needing it. They don't confuse constant togetherness with intimacy. They understand something quietly powerful. Being comfortable walking alone means you're not outsourcing your sense of self. That's why this behavior gets misunderstood. Quiet independence unsettles people. A person who walks alone isn't rejecting the world. They're signaling internal stability. In a culture that rewards constant visibility, constant updates, constant togetherness, that choice looks strange. But psychology sees it clearly. A nervous system that knows how to regulate itself. A mind that can process experience. without immediate validation. Walking alone becomes a practice, a moving boundary, a reminder that you can be connected without being consumed. So if you walk alone, and have ever wondered what that says about you, it says you know how to be with yourself. That's not loneliness. That's fluency in your own inner world. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.